Right thing again?
I don't know. It can take up to 2 minutes.
Wait, I did the right thing. Hold on. Okay, that's enough.
That was plenty. That was more than I could have hoped for.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? We're late. 2 minutes late.
Just a little bit. Look, there was a chalk crisis at the Kidd household that had to be averted. I had to take care of some things with that, so I did. Dom, Charles, already joining in. Nice to see you both.
Excellent. I'm surprised Dom has time to do anything else aside from watching movies. Listen, I don't normally take notes for stuff, but hold on. Oh God, you can't even see it because of the background.
Nope.
I have. Oh, it was there for. I have like 2 pages of quickly jotted notes for the Dance of Dragons.
Okay.
Mostly one-liner stuff that we'll just be able to. So we're gonna end on that because that's the fun one. That's the second best of the 3 things we watched.
Is it?
No, that's the best of the 3 things we watched. I'm sorry.
I don't know. No. I mean, it's not third, I don't think.
Yeah.
But it could be. Yeah. They're fantastic. I remember when somebody was going to go see them in concert with me and then decided they were tired.
Yeah. So how oh, thanks everybody for finding the Geek Spot. Don't forget that. All over the place. See what happens when you're late? You're finding chalk and
yeah, I was doing stuff.
How's
now I'm trying to cobble together my list for in a few minutes.
Oh, good, because that's early. That's
that's awesome.
That's early.
So good, man. A couple gigs, stayed busy. Finally, spent some time watching on Max. Finally caught that Godzilla versus Kong New Empire, or Godzilla X Kong.
That was good.
Yeah, look, man, those movies, they understand the assignment. Like, the assignment is like, have big CGI monsters and creatures do cool stuff and beat each other up and do all the things that you want to see them do. And have some people like telling maybe a storyline.
Right.
You know how it's going to end, but like they sure do know how to have fun in those. So they continue that trend. I don't know that they are doing a great job creating a cohesive universe, since they have a TV show that they're trying to anchor in with the movies too, and it's getting a season 2, and they did not do a great job anchoring that in. But we'll see what happens. Later on, I'll mention the show I finished season 3 of.
Nice.
And the show I got a couple of episodes into season 2 of, a couple more episodes of season 2. But yeah, gigged around, had a guest appearance at one of my shows this weekend. Super exciting.
Couple guests.
Couple guests. Frank was out and about.
Yeah, out and about in the city.
Yeah, it's a rarity. So yeah, got a couple of the guys, Jimmy, Frank, and Matt, all came out to see me Friday night, which was great. And then had a gig Saturday and got more stuff coming up this weekend with gigs and all that kind of stuff. But kept busy, had some time to watch some stuff, had some family stuff, had a great 4th. Got to see some awesome fireworks at one of the best shows I've seen in years, the Steyer's Orchard by me, which is pretty cool. How about you, man? What have you been up to?
First, I'm just so you know, when I'm looking all around left, right, and sideways, I'm listening to everything that's happening. I just have stuff scattered around my desk here. I have a list here and notes here, and I have something over here. So I am absolutely engaged. That Geek Spot thing is really big.
Yep.
What did I do? I watched some stuff, something a little outside the box.
Oh, really?
A documentary that I'm going to mention. I watched some TV shows, and I did nothing for the 4th of July, and I'm really, really okay with that. No fireworks. It was really hot. No pool. No leaving the house. Did nothing. I did go out and see you with our friend Matt and our friend Jimmy. I had a really wonderful time, even though they couldn't play the Phillies game, which was kind of amusing that they were sitting at the bar trying to like find the Phillies game, and Jimmy was like, "I think they're trying to find a Phillies game." I'm like, "Yeah, they're not going to find that." So he was kind enough to go over and tell them, "Hey, it's on Apple TV." And they went, "Oh, okay." And they put golf back on for a little, so that was wonderful.
Yeah, look, Apple TV is. I don't know why they've gotten so many Phillies games this year.
Look,
You know, they're
not
the
to
best
go.
team, but
Well, they are the best team in baseball, and not to go off on a rant, but they spent a ton of money on these 4K cameras. So if you're watching a baseball game, any team on Apple, it's the picture is absolutely breathtaking.
oh, they use it for all the MLS games too.
Right, yeah,
All the soccer games are in 4K.
I've seen one, and then I stopped watching because they suck right now. So I'll come back around to that again. Uh, but the announcers suck, but the picture's gorgeous. Luckily, with Apple, you can switch to the local radio feed while you're watching, and it's synced up. If only the NFL could have figured that out at some point in the last 20 years, how to sync up radio and TV. If only
Yeah,
they could have figured that out.
they're only a minute and a half off. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's great. Listening to
So speaking of that, YouTube TV has a crazy feature where you can go and you can eliminate the buffering
oh
on the stream, so you can go in and decide. Now it says it's like, hey, your picture quality might go to crap sometimes, but you'll be in real time.
okay
Because one of the biggest issues with YouTube TV was like I would be watching something and my text thread that would be like, "Oh my god, did you see that play?" And I'm like,
yeah
"No."
yeah.
And then 45 seconds later, I would see the play, and I'm like, "Oh, that one."
So yeah, so I watch through Hulu, which I'm really getting sick of it at what was once 60 a month is now almost 80. Um, and there's a definite lag if I'm watching a hockey game and someone's actually watching like on Comcast or on Verizon, and I'm in a, I get a text message. Oh my God, that goal was awesome. Cool. I'll be there in a minute and a half. Just
Right.
shut up. Like, don't tell me. Sometimes I also have to turn off the smart scoreboard on the TV because that'll pop up and I'll go, oh, the Phillies are about to hit a home run. Cool. Yeah, Hulu's ridiculous. But yeah, so I didn't go see any fireworks. I didn't go to any pools. My kid and I went out to breakfast Saturday morning, and then we were going to go back home and do some work in the garage, but it was like 4,000 degrees outside for Philadelphia.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
wild.
no bueno. No. Although the Mayfair Diner still has decent breakfast.
Does it?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, can you really mess up French toast?
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it
Oh,
happen.
oof.
There's opportunities for some places with French toast still.
Oh boy.
So wait, so what did you see that was outside the box?
Yeah. So the outside the box thing, I watched the documentary Brats. So the documentary
Brat Pack?
on Hulu about the Brat Pack, correct?
Okay.
It was with Andrew McCarthy. And I don't know how I feel about it. I loved those movies growing up, and I understood the basis of the document was him reaching out to the people that were or were not in the Brat Pack, and it's never really defined who was actually in it because it was a growing or shrinking list of people. And when I hear Brat Pack, I always think St. Elmo's Fire, Breakfast Club. That's the Brat Pack to me.
Yeah.
He'd asked Judd Nelson to be on it, and Judd politely declined. He asked Molly Ringwald, and they showed him on the phone asking them. Like, he hadn't talked to any of these people in like 30 years. So he asked Molly Ringwald, and she politely declined, and basically saying, I want to just kind of keep looking forward. I don't want to look back. Same thing with Anthony Michael Hall. He was on the Rich Eisen show, and he said the same thing. It's, I wish everybody success, but I kind of want to go this way, and I'm not interested in going back to that, which is understandable. So he spoke with Demi Moore, Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, the guy that wrote the article that coined the phrase that everybody was mad at back then. I forget his name. He spoke with Tim Hutton,
Timothy Hutton.
Timothy Hutton,
Yeah.
and a couple other like pop culture journalists and some podcast people and stuff like that, and some paper print interviewers. It wasn't a bad documentary. It just felt like it was more a vehicle for him to kind of complain about it a little bit.
Mm.
And I don't know if you're interested in that little era of movies, and I grew up on it with The Breakfast Club and Less Than Zero and um, all those John Hughes movies, 16 Candles. Oh, and he did it. He talked to John Hughes. No, he didn't. Not John Hughes. The guy that directed Pretty in Pink. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he talked.
Landis.
No, I
got it. All good. Ducky.
Yeah. No, well, he did actually talk to John Cryer, who was not in.
No, he was a little young.
And he talked to what's her name? Howard the Duck's girlfriend, Leah Thompson.
Yep.
Could have gone to any other movie in the world.
It was John Hughes that wrote Pretty in Pink. Howard Douche.
Yes, that's who he spoke with.
Directed it.
So apparently there was an edit of the movie. The original ending had him, had Molly Ringwald's character, Andy, end up with Ducky, and it got booed profusely in test screenings. Everybody hated it, so they changed it up and went with Blaine. It's an interesting documentary if you were from that era of movies. And
it pops up, and I'm regularly intrigued. I don't know, because you have the Hulu TV, so I don't know if yours is obnoxious as mine. But now my Disney Plus is overrun with Hulu content, which is really annoying.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm not in Disney Plus that long. I'm in there for 28 minutes longer than I need to be in weekly right now.
Yeah, I don't go to Disney Plus looking for anything that would be on Hulu.
Correct.
So it's kind of annoying that, and even logged me out of my Hulu on my TV. But it's been so long because now it's just on Disney Plus. But it's so much content now to try and search through. It's kind of
it is
kind of a pain.
Dom, thank you for popping in. He's working on some content that we're actually kind of bogarting a little bit tonight.
Dom, but totally not like we didn't hear about it and then go for it.
No.
Like I messaged Frank the other day because I actually
and then
heard
I saw
this from an old podcast from 3 months ago from somebody that was like, oh, they would just watch New Mutants, and they were like, we should do something. I was like, yeah.
Yep. And I kind of forgot about it and saw Dom make a post about it. So basically and I was like, oh yeah. The gist of it is, as of this show, we're 18 days away from Deadpool and Wolverine, which is probably going to be the summer movie.
It might be. There's more that they just haven't announced that are going to randomly pop up, though.
Right.
I think it'll come in right behind Inside Out 2 and Despicable Me 4.
I don't know. I think it'll be a little ahead.
I don't know. Inside Out's crushing it, dude. It's so good.
But what Dom is doing, and you can check this out on his channel, is he's watching all 18 of the Fox/Marvel movies, X-Men movies, Daredevil, Electro, all of those wonderful movies, and he's ranking them and giving a review. What we're going to do is we're just going to rank them as we like them, but he's actually rewatching them, and he's going to give a little review of each one. I think he did 2 of them already so far. But
I think I missed one to get to 18, so I don't know which one I missed, but that's fine. We'll figure it out as we go.
That's all right. Before we even do that, and before we go to the news thing, I something I was watching. It was a badass movie fight scenes, and I'm kind of curious where you sit on this. What's the better scene? Darth Vader in the hallway, walking down, killing everybody at the end of Rogue One, or Luke Skywalker in the hallway, killing all the death machines, the death droids? Which one of them is better? They're not too far apart year-wise.
Darth and Rogue One.
Really?
100%. So couple reasons why. One, I saw that in the theater.
Okay.
Which is a very different experience than watching it on TV, right? Like, and two, like I expect Luke to be a badass. We never got to see Darth be imposing and being like terrifying. Like, why? Come on, this guy can like barely walk. Like, why is everybody scared of him? From the original movies, like you never got to see him do anything besides like choke a dude out, which is fine. Got to see that every 7 seconds in The Boys. Um, but yeah, like it was great to see like why he was the most feared person in the galaxy, right?
I agree. I agree with the Darth Vader one. The Luke one was absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but the Darth Vader one, seeing that in the theater was like, oh my god.
That's a deep pool, Matt, on your best fight scene ever.
Oh, I mean, we can rank fight scenes at another time, and this X-Men thing is going to take our list of the week out of the way.
I mean, look, anytime I can see Kate Beckinsale and Jessica Biel wrestle, though, it's
true.
It's winning.
It's winning. We can do that ahead of the newsy stuff. I don't really have a ton of newsy stuff.
Sure, we can do that. I'm just going to, speaking of fights, though, yes. I just want to pull back to the show that I was mentioning earlier that I watched it. I think I talked about the first 2 seasons. They've actually done a good job cranking this out. But Shoresy, which is a spinoff of Letterkenny, I can't recommend the show enough. It's quick episodes. They're like 22-minute episodes. There's 6 a season, I think. And we got this fantastic story arc for this character, and you really got to see him develop from the guy that used to sit in the toilet on Letterkenny talking smack to the other hockey players and telling your mom jokes and all this stuff the whole time, and like seeing him with a fully developed character arc was fantastic. And the guy that plays him, Jared Kiso, is also the star of Letterkenny, but playing a different character. So I can't recommend enough. That's on Hulu or Disney Plus, depending on where you get your Hulu content.
I started
it. Look, it's about it's Canadian League Senior League hockey.
Yep, it's great. So the first episode it's got me where I'll watch it. I hate that I have to watch it with 30-second ads every couple of minutes, but
oh yeah, I don't have those.
I'm not supposed to.
Maybe you won't. You on Disney Plus?
That's a good try. I'll have to try it there.
You might not on Disney Plus if you have that package there.
And
give it a shot.
Briefly, also, I'll touch on what Charles said. I did also watch Beverly Hills Cop Axel F.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. It was better than the third one. That's not saying a lot. It revisits some of the same tropes, and there's an actual story to it, and it's not a bad story. Taggart aged. Oh my God. Judge Reinhold really aged. Eddie Murphy looks basically the same.
Yeah, he's not aged.
No, and there's some really funny parts, and it was a good movie. I probably wouldn't watch it again for a long time, but it was funny enough. If you liked the first 2, and you tolerated the third one because it was there, it's a good watch.
Okay, very nice. We can do the list, and then we'll hit up my watch when we get to the news. My weekly shows that I got to watch that are right behind you.
All right, really fast. Yeah.
I don't.
Do you want to go at the top, or do you want to go from the bottom?
How many movies do you have?
I have 18, and
I'm missing one. I'm missing one. Then I don't know what I'm missing.
Okay.
Well, why don't we start at 18?
Okay.
And give me yours. I'll give you mine.
Okay, 18. I have the New Mutants only because I didn't see it.
Okay, I don't have an 18.
Okay, you will when you.
I will once you get there and I figure out what movie I missed. I don't know how I missed one.
17. I also have the Wolverine because again I didn't see that one. Are the only 2 I didn't see.
Wow, those are okay. Those are in much different spots on my list.
Well, I only put it down there because I didn't see it, so I can't. It's not so much that I rank it 17th. It's just kind of that's where it is. That's the one where he fights Super Shredder.
Which, if you want to go back, you can hear my review of the New Mutants movie on this very show.
I remember
100 some odd episodes before.
So what do you have?
17, I have Elektra because I very vaguely remember watching it and was very underwhelmed.
Okay. I have that at 16. So we're kind of in the same area with that. Where
16, I have Fantastic, which is the Miles Teller,
Okay.
because it was fairly unwatchable.
It was. I have that a little higher, which is
It's
a
a
little
little frightening.
shock. 15, I have X-Men Apocalypse.
Wow, there's mine's higher. I have X-Men Origins at 15,
Okay.
because it was god awful
It
and
was,
gave us the crappy Deadpool and the crappy everybody.
but it
Um,
gave us Deadpool.
it sure nobody knew who it was, but sure.
No. At 14, I have Dark Phoenix.
Okay, you saw Dark Phoenix?
I did see Dark Phoenix. It was
Okay,
horrible.
I have Daredevil at 14.
Okay. Okay.
Mind you, I've not really gotten into X-Men movies yet, so we'll see what happens when
Oh,
I get to the
I
X-Men
know.
movies.
Now 13 is a bit of a stretch. That's the 2015 Fantastic Four. Dark Phoenix,
That's really high.
it is.
Like,
It
Dark
is.
Phoenix wasn't completely unwatchable. It was really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I could flip that with Fantastic with the 2015 Fantastic Four, but yeah, that's what I have at 13.
I have Dark Phoenix at 13,
Okay.
because mostly I fell asleep through most of it and was very underwhelmed.
Yeah. 12, I have X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay.
A little higher, but
Yeah, that's a little high for that. I had X-Men Apocalypse there
okay.
solely saved by Olivia Munn being in the movie.
Yeah, I can
And
see that.
Alexander Shipp too was pretty good, but Olivia Munn as Psylocke, which had been, your favorite fan art, had been
You didn't like
going on for a while. Look,
Oscar Isaacs?
God, he was awful as Apocalypse. But he wanted to make sure he checked off that Fox franchise before it
Gotta
went
have
away.
it. The biggest probably shock of this whole thing is at 11 I have Daredevil. And I only have Daredevil that high because Kingpin was so damn good in that movie.
I mean, look, it's fine for Daredevil there.
Yeah.
I just I saw it, but I haven't gone back to it. A lot of movies I'll go back to, or
No, I
from that
definitely
era I would go back to. That's not one of them.
look,
My next one was my 11 was Rise of the Silver Surfer.
okay. Now, if Ben Affleck happens to show up in Deadpool and Wolverine, that movie might get a little bump.
Yeah, sure.
Anything to get away from J-Lo right now, he's going to go do a movie for.
Well, look, that's how he rekindled it with Jennifer Garner, which caused the rift. So,
I mean,
oh,
now at 10, I have Last Stand. X-Men.
I also have Last Stand at 10.
There we go. Okay. Now we get into the top
I'm really
10.
concerned about what movie I forgot.
I'm really concerned about what you forgot too, because the top 9 are pretty damn good movies.
Yeah.
9, I have Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but it wasn't as good as the first one for them.
I agree. It was not as good. I have Fantastic Four, the OG.
Okay.
With Jessica Alba.
That I have at 8.
At number 9.
That I have at 8.
At number 8, I have New Mutants.
Okay. Now I know you really, really did like New Mutants.
It was great. It's the acting was fantastic. That is incorrect, Dom.
I think I know what you forgot.
But I recommend, if somebody has not watched New Mutants yet, go find it. It's on Hulu or Disney Plus or one of those spots. But it's great. It's like a young adult movie, but it's also kind of a horror movie.
Yep.
But it's got some really cool stuff. It's got Anya Taylor-Joy before she was famous.
Okay.
And too expensive for the movie to afford. So
at 7, I have Deadpool 2. It's low, but I feel the other movies are ahead of that.
Okay. You get Deadpool 2 at 7. At 7, I have The Wolverine. Because the action scenes were great. You got the hints of some of this stuff they were setting up.
Right.
The fact that it was going to come back and do some of the older movies again with the Last Stand remakes and those kinds of things. So yeah, the Wolverine. I would recommend you go find that one. Go find that in New Mutants. Those are.
I'll watch that before I see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
just
You
to have
should. You should see the Wolverine to have the full
right.
storyline of
Um,
the
now
character.
now my top 6, it's a little fluid, but this is how I have it. At 6, I have X-Men First Class, and
Okay.
that's low because it was a great movie.
That is from the X-Men movies, I would say that's low. 6, I had Deadpool 2
Okay.
because I thought it was fine, but the way they did Rusty annoyed me to no end.
Which one was Rusty?
The fire kid that ended up being the
Oh,
big
yeah,
bad,
yeah,
like
yeah,
such
okay.
a whiny little bitch that I just zero. He ruined most of the movie for me.
I got it.
Also, because the Rusty character from the comics, this is another redhead that they did dirty.
Oh, really?
But was also a super cool character. They introduced X Factor back in the '80s, and he was like a young kid where they were trying to bring up start their own school.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was a fan of his. So them doing that character dirty pissed me off.
Now the top 5, my number 5 movie is the OG original X-Men movie.
Okay, that's low for that.
It is.
I had Logan at number 5.
That's the one I thought you forgot.
No, no. Either I just don't know how to count, or there's something else that I
You
don't have.
maybe don't know how to count. 4 is Deadpool.
4, I had X2
Okay.
because X2 is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
It checks a lot of boxes. You get Nightcrawler.
Yep.
You get the Alan Cummings version. You get
Oh, it's
Beast. You get a
great.
lot of stuff you didn't get in the first one. But I thought the storyline was great, and that's one I've gone back to multiple times over the years.
Yep. What was that, 4? Or was that 5?
That was 4.
That was 4. At 3, now these top 3 are, for me, they could kind of come in any way, but at 3, I have Logan.
Okay, look, it's a great movie.
It was. I thought it was a great movie. And I didn't read the comic, so I see it. Just
It has nothing to do with Old Man Logan. Nothing in any way, shape, or form to do with Old Man Logan. They didn't have the characters to make it be what Old Man Logan was, because Old Man Logan's a team up of him and Hawkeye.
Right.
3, I had Deadpool.
Okay, that's a fair spot for that. 2. Now my 2 and 1, I definitely can flip flop.
Okay,
At 2, I have Days of Future Past. Which
that's the one I forgot.
wow.
Yeah,
That, and I
disappointed
literally
myself.
just rewatched that about 2 weeks ago on a whim. That is such a good movie. It blends both casts together really well. It does the present and past really, really well. Oh wow. So
Yeah.
what did you have at 2 before that?
I had First Class.
Okay.
I would probably bump everything down one and put Days of Future Past second and First Class third.
That's fair. That's fair. So my number 1 Fox/Marvel movie was X2. I thought, like I said, that and Days of Future Past are kind of interchangeable. But X2 was such a shot in the arm for the superhero genre at that point. They introduced a lot. They carried it off of the first movie, and it was just so well done, I thought. That scene in the White House was so good.
Absolutely.
So what did you have at 1?
I had the OG X-Men movie.
Okay. I toyed with that. That's what I said.
Look, it was the same for me as Batman was for DC.
Fair.
For me, because
Right.
Superman was already there and established. Like I was 2, I think, when Superman came out. So like Batman was like it, and then X-Men was like, oh my god, they just put like my favorite group from the early '90s in. So I got to go, and
Thank you, Dom.
I had to go there.
I'm excited to watch your reviews and whatnot. I'm gonna bunch them up and do them a little bit at a time at work.
Yeah, for sure. As always, go check out Dom at the Ace Avenue on YouTube.
My man's got merch.
Hit like and subscribe and all the good things. He does have merch. He's got some cool ass shirts in yellow and red in honor of Deadpool and Wolverine coming out.
Yeah. No, that was a good list. I like that. That was I like rankings like that. Maybe we do fights next. I'll have to figure out how to.
Sure. They all involve Patrick Swayze. It's fine.
Except. All right. So you have a show that you wanted to talk about really fast before we jump into the news and speed into the greatest.
Yeah, well, I did. I'm 2 more episodes into The Office because I didn't.
Oh,
I almost let it slide, and then
oh,
realized that I couldn't.
what were we this? What were the this? What
So
were
we had
I can't.
the client and performance review. So kind of a duet
Oh, the performance review.
where they have to tie into each other, I suppose.
Yes, the performance reviews are funny.
Performance review was good. Um, I think my problem with The Office so far is I feel like Jim's just a bully that's picking on the autistic dude at the office all the time. So like
You know,
I have some issues. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, they're just kind of dicks to Dwight. Like Dwight's just like he's odd, cool, but like he's not like a dick intentionally. He's just odd, and they're all like awful to him.
the the
It's like
client.
cheering for the bully in like the Karate Kid. It's like saying Johnny's the good guy, right? Like it's
Well, yeah,
uh,
I mean, the client. I remember now. That's the one with Tim Meadows, and
Tim Meadows where Jan and Michael make out.
but it shows you like the genius of Michael when he has that, like when he's in his element of sales, which he's great at, and managing, which he's really not good at.
Right.
That was a great episode, and yeah, then the performance review one was pretty funny. It only goes up from
Yeah,
here.
I feel like it's coming close to figuring out what the show is.
Yeah.
Um, and
Um.
yeah, I hope Jim turns into kind of less of a dick.
No, you know.
And Matt, I don't disagree in later watching that Daniel LaRusso was a dick and deserved to get beat up, but I don't disagree that Johnny was not a hero.
No, I look.
Either. Like they were both at fault. I'm not going to say either one of them was there
No,
wasn't a good guy in that movie.
but Barney Stinson was right.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, no, they were both bad guys though. That happens.
He won on an illegal kick. That's all there is to say about it.
The only good guy is Mr. Miyagi
Yes.
because he
Now, what
only
did
slightly beat up the high school kids in his 60s. It's fine. Or his 40s, however old he was when they filmed that
I
cuz
don't
time.
he was
He was in his 50s. He was the same age that Ralph Macchio was when they did Cobra Kai.
he was
Yeah, I'm not lying.
yeah, I know you're not lying. I know. But go ahead. You yeah, he was 51. You're right. Ish.
Yeah. And think about it. That was after he was Al.
Yeah. Well, there's the story goes I saw interviews, not to go off on a tangent, but that he was a comedic actor and didn't have that accent at all. And they actually didn't want him for that part. And he like somebody pushed for him or he pushed for it. And they like the first time he read like that when he finally got to read the script, they were like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
this is him. So that's coming this year. Well, the first 6.
In like a week or two. Yeah.
Yeah. First 6. And the Big Miyagi secret.
Yeah. Don't ruin the guy.
What he fathered like 7 kids. What he's really Daniel's father. What Miyagi was in an episode of Married with Children playing the dirty old guy, and it was hysterical. Thank you, Matt. What was the show you wanted to mention?
That was it.
What one?
That was The Office.
Oh. No. Okay.
The show that I'm supposed to watch on a regular. I have a list that I watch.
So do I. Look. Oh,
Yep.
you can't see
Yeah.
it.
Oh, what a shame.
So Skydance Media has bought Paramount.
Which is wild, right? Like that's the direction that would go.
And crazy. It's an $8 billion deal. David Ellison set as chairman, CEO, Jeff Shell as president of Paramount. Shari Redstone is going to sell the family empire to Skydance Media. That includes like
So Yellowstone's going to Redstone.
well, maybe. So let me see. Skydance and its partners will invest more than $8 billion in an effort to reinvigorate aspects of the company. Skydance said the deal has an enterprise value of $28 billion, with Skydance valued at $4.75 billion.
So lots of money. for them
Lots and lots of
to
money.
do stuff and make streaming worse.
Paramount actually has the right to shop around for matching or superior offers for a 45-day period. Um, if Paramount finds a better offer, they will pay Skydance $400 million in a breakup fee.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right?
So what I don't know this part is Paramount is their parent company CBS Viacom, or are
Ye
they the parent company for Viacom CBS?
I believe I'm looking really fast through this thing because I saw
Because
it.
I'm wondering what that does to the streaming service of Paramount Plus, right?
Bu
Because you did get all of the CBS things with that. You got the Paramount Network. You got, I forget, some other stuff that was included with Paramount as far as all that. But
then there was
I'm
a whole
intrigued to see what that does as far as those services go.
Yeah, me too.
And if there's still outside of that a merger, then that Skynet can Skyview, what are they called? Skydance can negotiate to merge some streaming services around,
Right.
so we can pay more money for the same thing.
So, Ellison's father uh, runs the tech giant Oracle.
Okay,
So they have a little bit of money behind them.
got it.
Paramount Plus has roughly 72 million subscribers after 10 years of operations. Skydance is going to infuse money into it. I can't see what they own, but I'm pretty sure it had something to do with Viacom too.
Yeah, that's what I just can't remember, because they own Viacom owns a ton of radio stations as well around the country.
Kevin Costner's Horizon flopped. His first part of his epic western.
I saw this. It made all the money.
He invested $38 million of his own money and into the $30 million marketing spend and into the money. The film has to earn at least $65 million for him to just recoup his money. It's the first of 4 movies.
That's wild. Yeah, he's so. And I was reading something about this earlier, right? So here's the problem, right? Sounds like it would have been a great streaming show,
Probably.
not a great 12-hour movie franchise that you have to go pay $100 a pop.
Yeah, I mean,
to go see with somebody else, or even $50 to see by yourself if you're getting popcorn and the good stuff. So that's a problem.
well, the
The way he
problem is
did it.
nobody wants to sit in the movies and watch something like that right now. Like,
No, look, I would be all in on movies more frequently in general if they weren't all 2.5, 3 hours long and didn't have a half hour of trailers, because I just don't have 5 hours to block off to go to the
no,
movies.
not anymore. No, like I'm looking Deadpool. Our viewing at Deadpool is like at 11. I'm home by 1:30 and I'm happy.
Oh, you're not going to be home at 1:30.
Well, we'll see.
You'll be home by like 3. By the way, Viacom CBS changed its name to Paramount Global.
Okay.
A couple years ago.
Do you remember the movie Cape Fear?
I do.
Oh, it's always
I
foreboding.
love Cape Fear.
It's always foreboding when you start off with something like that, right? How about Cape Fear being remade, hold on, as a TV series with Martin Scorsese and Steven Spielberg involved?
No.
How would that be?
No.
They're going to modernize the story in a 21st century context. It's in its early developmental stages.
I think a lot of that stuff is not as scary when you introduce technology.
Now,
not that we didn't have technology in the 90s, right? But like, I remember seeing Cape Fear in the theater, and it was De Niro, right?
Yep.
De Niro,
yeah.
Nick Nolte.
Yep.
And Juliette Lewis.
Yep.
Like, phenomenal cast. I forget who the wife was. But yeah, like, that's a remake I don't really need. Like, just tell a different story, but you don't have to say that it's Cape Fear.
Well, that's what's going to draw people is the Cape Fear.
I mean, but I don't know that it will. I'm sure we're talking about another trailer that just dropped today, because I'm dying to know your opinion on that.
Jessica Lange.
Oh, that's right. It was Jessica Lange. Wasn't Nick
Robert
Nolte?
Mitchum was in it. Gregory Peck was in it.
I mean, if I think back though, weren't they really old parents?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Or were they
Nick,
way younger back then than I think they
I
thought they
mean,
were?
Nick Nolte in '91 was still 80 years old, right?
That's what I'm saying, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah.
Nick Nolte
No,
was born in 1941. So holy shit, Nick Nolte was 40 years old when that movie was filmed.
so not so old parents because my son just turned 25 today. So shush.
And to be fair, that was a remake.
It was from this 1962 version. There was a 1962 version.
Correct. So,
But I mean, look, with Scorsese and Spielberg teaming up together, it's got a shot at being good, unless it's just like, hey, we're gonna do the pilot and then see you later, we're out.
I lied. Nick Nolte was 50.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, I am, but um, I mean, if that's the way it's gonna happen, if it's gonna be, hey, we did the pilot or we did episode 1 and 2, and now we're out by, and we're just gonna attach our names to it.
That's all it's going to be. They're not going to stick around for all that. Martin Scorsese hates everybody. He's
He
not going
does. Well, there's no superheroes, so maybe he'll be happy with it.
Well, we'll see who's cast.
That's true. They don't even have a distributor yet. Do you know what the reason for Madam Web's failure was? Did you see this?
How long do you have?
Did you see what Emma Roberts what she blamed the failure of Madam Web on?
No, I did not.
Internet culture. Internet culture is why it failed.
I would say false advertising. It also didn't help. Look, it's on your list. You can watch that right after you watch The Wolverine and New Mutants.
Probably will miss watching this one.
It's worth it to just say that you have watched it. I could see that. Look, it got panned before it came out, and it got killed once it did come out. But all with good reason. Like, it's an awful movie and did not deliver on anything that it promised, and the story never really even solidified into an actual story.
No.
Because you could tell that it was like, hey, we're gonna rewrite this 17 times, maybe while filming, so we don't have a real actual movie at the end. Yeah, so that's possibly why it failed. I'll give him that.
The last little like big news thing is did you see the previews for the Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum movie?
No.
This movie has me written all over it. It's called Fly Me to the Moon.
Oh,
it is a comedy type movie about faking the moon landing. It's a rom-com.
Oh, this does sound like you.
It sounds so good. It's a Greg Berlanti movie. It just I can't wait to watch it.
I approve of Greg Berlanti. We're good.
I just can't wait to watch it. But it's about faking the moon landing. Like, as a backup in case the actual moon landing fails, they're gonna, there's a line in the trailer that they kind of, Scarlett offhandedly says we should have got Kubrick, which is kind of funny because that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not. I'll have to go watch that trailer.
The trailer looks funny. Channing Tatum does comedy pretty well.
Yeah, he's great. He's an all around. I mean, he's been doing comedy forever.
Yeah. The trailer, before we get into the TV shows, the trailer that dropped today was the trailer for Agatha All Along, the WandaVision spinoff. That's just a couple years past WandaVision. What's that? 2-3 years?
WandaVision dropped in January of 2021.
So 2-3 years. Couple 2-3.
2020. 2021.
What's your thoughts on the trailer? I know you watched the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna watch the show.
Wow.
I had zero interest. I was like, wow, I don't know that this is free. This looks like a show my wife will watch. And look, and that's, she watched Sabrina and all those things. Like, that's what this looks like to me. And I'm like, because it doesn't look scary.
No.
And it doesn't.
But it's supposed to be.
Right. But it kind of looks campy, but it also looks like it's just.
I bet you money that Aubrey Plaza plays a mean person in that.
Probably.
Show. Because that's all she plays.
But yeah, like, it's. And this is my fault again, because I'm still working through that original Fantastic Four, and I'm like 250 episodes or issues in. And Agatha is a huge character in it after Franklin's born, because she's his nanny like for years. Um, so like I'm getting all the stories with her and this, and I'm like, it's none of this new show's gonna. This is all new character, new everything. Cool. I'm
Yep.
glad they named it Agatha for no reason. Um,
I'm interested in it,
yeah, sure,
but
sure.
I'm a
I
more
don't know that I'll watch it. That might be a one where you come back and review and you try and sell me on it to get
I
me to
might
actually
have
watch that
to.
one.
I might have to.
Because I
Hey,
really have, I don't see any stakes to it, and like no, usually they get me because I'm like, oh, it's gonna tie into this way, okay. Like
I
Echo, I was like, well, it's gonna tie into Daredevil and Kingpin's in it. So all right, I gotta go watch it. This one, they haven't given me any tease that like
no,
anybody that I give a shit about is gonna be in it. So I might be
no,
okay. This might be the first thing I skip.
maybe. JJ, I am paying attention. It is the gold standard. That's what I think Agatha is going to be. The gold standard. That's an inside joke. Um, all right. The 3 shows that came out that we watched this week. One of them we can breeze right through. We can go through the Acolyte as fast as the lightsaber whip was on screen.
Yeah, I watched it.
Only thing I have to say about the dialogue heavy, actionless episode on the planet of fake Octu is the scars on his back could possibly be from a lightsaber whip where she is his master or his former master. That tie, I don't know. I'm trying, dude. I'm stretching. I'm really
But
reaching.
I watched it. I guess Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday.
I
I
waited
couldn't
so
tell
long.
you a thing that happened.
That's all I know.
Because like I was like, all right, yeah, these guys went to the okay. There's gonna be something that ties them in. That's why she's wanted to go on her own. Got it. Blah 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 blah. And then Soul's still an idiot. Like
Right. And then
the
it
the
was the
Badger was
cliffhanger.
the smart one. Got it. Okay.
It was the cliffhanger of I think it's time to be honest with you. Credits.
Yeah, their cliffhangers are awful on this
It's
show.
so bad. It's so bad. It's so
Like
bad.
one of the other shows kept having those moments last night where I was like, oh, they got to cut after that, and then nope, there was another
No.
5 minutes to show. I'm like, this is great. They did that 3 times.
I we we did a podcast where we reviewed 4 shows in an hour-ish, and we just did 18 seconds on the Acolyte, basically.
Which was definitely 17 seconds too long.
It was.
It could have been the Acolyte aired this week.
But episode
Moving
7
on.
is supposed to be this penultimate episode that ties.
Sure. Yep. There's going to be stuff.
Yeah,
We're going to
there's
get to
gonna be-
hear about the Jedi's being bad people because we want to make sure that we totally destroy all of the buildup that we've had for years about the Jedi's.
Whatever.
Make them into dicks because nobody that has power can be good, Frank. They all have to be bad people.
Of course they do.
Speaking of that,
Speaking of bad people, how about sexy Batman?
look, Tech. I enjoyed Tech Night on Gen V. I'm upset that we're not going to get more Tech Night. Honestly,
Maybe
no, I don't think
flashback,
so.
flash sideways. Oh
Maybe,
wait, that's lost.
but to be fair, as vile as that character was, not as bad as he was in the comics.
That's what I've been reading. Is there's some disturbing stuff that happens in this episode, and even they said we held back.
Oh yeah, Tech
And
Night in this is basically a saint compared to the comics version.
and I know that they're at the point where they're just doing like cringe and overly graphic to be cringe and overly graphic at times, and it doesn't really there really wasn't story based. Like there really wasn't any story to why is this here, why is this happening. It was more just more background in the tech night a
Well,
little bit.
yes and no, right? Because while that was going on, we were telling story. Like that's the difference, right? Like
Yes.
while it was going on, like things were like Mother's Milk had another layer that happened with his character, right?
Yes.
Kumiko, you still see like how frustrated she is not having her partner there with her all the time. Starlight, you see still struggling with for whatever reason, right? You got to see, is Newman really gonna go full, because there's still that like twinge with Newman where you're like, she might be okay.
Right.
She's not, but like
Well,
she could be.
they
And then you're like, nope, she just took another step towards the dark. Okay.
well, they basically Homelander was like a backstory character. Like he tried to take control of that meeting and then just kind of got pushed to the back. Sister Sledge or Sister Sledge?
Sage.
Slage.
Sage.
She, you know, she got shot in the head and her
Damn it.
brain isn't regenerating as fast as when she lobotomizes herself.
No,
So
it's the same speed.
is it because she's sitting there eating cake and
I mean,
so
she didn't try to bang anybody. So I mean,
not yet.
she eats blooming onions and with
Yeah,
the deep
likes the
otherwise,
deep.
and watches
Um,
trash TV.
and you have the whole A Train thing, which isn't bad. It's is he a good guy now? Is he just kind of straddling the line?
I don't know how much A Train we get after 2 more episodes of this show.
Okay.
I don't feel great about it. He just signed a deal to star in some other show on Netflix, so
Oh, okay. You see, Ashley's a little bit of a freak.
Yeah, look, I love what they keep doing with that character.
So do I.
Where they just showing like she is complete power tripping, and then when she keeps getting her power stripped away, like bit by bit, like what is that? What does somebody do in that instance?
Yeah.
Right? They go take a dump and leave a floater in
I
Homelander's bathroom.
That's just um the end of the episode with Firecracker and Homelander was just disgusting. I mean,
She's very loyal.
it was I mean
I want to know, how did that fact get out to the point that she had time
I don't know, because it
to
seems
go
like
through all these procedures and stuff?
yeah, that seems like something you would have to
Like, I feel like that would be years, and it's weird
yeah,
that she would know that that was Homelander's kink, since it was really just him and his first boss, who's only been dead like a year and a half at this point, maybe
yeah,
2 years
yeah. I mean, we only have 2 more episodes of The Boys left
for this season. Yeah,
this
but look,
season.
let's not miss the big part, right? So Butcher, we knew his talking to his ex was all in his head, but it turns out that Denny is still a ghost.
I
That's for our Grey's Anatomy listeners, not you, apparently.
No. I kind of figured he was a figment of his imagination just by some of the subtle camera movements and some of the subtle reactions from some of the other characters. They did a good job to hide all that, really. But I didn't realize that he left him in the jungle to die. But
No, that was darker than expected. But yeah, like I'm not surprised by that, and that all makes sense. But I'm intrigued to see which way Butcher goes. And look, Butcher's not a good guy.
no, neither is Homelander.
No, there are no good guys in this show.
There really isn't.
Maybe Huey.
Huey's the closest to a good guy that you could probably get.
But Huey's killed like a lot of people.
He has. He has.
You know.
I enjoyed the episode. We got 2 left. The next 2 weeks for this season, and then the final season will be out sometime in 2028, I think.
Oh, God damn it! No, they're better than that. This show,
They are
at least a little bit.
Look,
I'm shocked, and I wonder, we haven't gotten any of the F characters. They had a whole issue where they went off and the boys went on a killing spree and killed all of the X-Men characters.
oh my god!
I think it's the F-Men in this, but like it was like F Factor and this, and like all of the different things, and they like went through and like killed all of them on a stretch, because in the comics the boys like went and just were killing off super troops and just couldn't get to the 7.
Gotcha. Well,
obviously we went a very different way with that.
Apparently next week there's some big battle at the Seven's headquarters. It was in the previews or something.
Okay.
So, to close out the show, we're going to go a little bit over. Is the House of the Dragon?
We need time though. You got all the notes on the hot D.
I do, and I'm gonna speed through some of this because it was just little jotted down stuff. Before I get to that, did you enjoy the episode?
Episode was great. It's I've enjoyed all of the episodes. They're just all so long, but they're
This
good. They're just long.
I didn't read the book, okay? Like, I read the Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
the Song of Fire and Ice, or whatever it's called now, I don't know. But I didn't read this series. So I
This
had
isn't a
no.
series.
Huh? This is a
This
whole
isn't.
it's
I
a
thought.
book. Well, it's a book.
No, it's like a prelude to a book, isn't it?
Something.
It's not much. It's like a side.
There's a chunk. There's a lot enough written that this was like something everybody was waiting for, this like the red wedding kind of a thing, and I had no idea.
Oh, I don't know that that's true. I feel like the lineage is
Uh,
laid out.
Hold on.
Um,
Hold on. I'm going to find out.
so, but not all the game. So from Matt, people were complaining about Game of Thrones episodes being short. Some of them were, and look, these aren't
It's
like
a,
super long, but there's it. I think I'm conditioned from all these goddamn Disney Plus shows that are all 17 minutes long, and then all ads and trailers and stuff. That this show actually being like a full 54 minutes every week, it's just a lot of episode, and it's a lot to think through on a Sunday night when it's like close to my bedtime. Because I'm
so
an old man now, so I can't do it the way that I used to.
so it's based on the history book Fire and Blood.
Yeah, like I said, it's not like a legit book. It's just like a history book of like, and this battle happened, and these
Right.
people lived, and this
But
person died, and this
this
begat. It's like the beginning of Lord of the Rings.
this episode was a pivotal, like, people were waiting for this episode.
Well, this starts the
So
Dance of the Dragons, right?
it starts the Dance of the Dragons. I'm gonna skip through a lot of this just so we can kind of, Damon asking Oscar Tully, who's a little kid, basically, maybe a teenager, early 20s. Oscar Tully's as the heir apparent to River Run.
Yep.
His grandsire is ill, and Damon basically asks him to put a pillow over his head and speed things up so Damon can get an army out of the kid,
It's a
which was
fair
hilarious.
question.
It was hilarious. Rainey's, I'm going to get it right because I actually wrote it down. Rainey's goes and talks to her husband, realizing or telling him that she knows that he has bastard children. So that's that. There was that. Everybody, I wrote this. Everybody breaking King Viserys Legos. Alicent dropped a piece of another piece of the big white model. And she takes the morning after drink.
It's a good call.
She was pregnant.
Yeah.
She was pregnant or not trying.
I mean, she got laid a lot in the first 2 episodes.
She did. Well, I mean, there was, yeah, I mean,
at least 2 to 3 times in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah. Rhaenyra's small council really sucks. That was the next thing I wrote.
Yeah, look, they're all scared. I don't blame
them. Lord Alfred might be a problem.
Which one's Lord Alfred?
Lord Alfred was the one, if you're looking down the table towards the door, he was on the left complaining the most.
Got it.
Yeah, he might be a problem. Sir Criston doesn't mess around, rallies everybody to attack Rook's Roost. That's cool.
Well, it was interesting hearing that, and I don't know that I had realized that he and Aemond had planned on the side.
Right. And
like I knew they were in communication, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together. They're like, oh, it's just an ambush to get them to get a dragon.
Totally didn't see that coming in any way, shape, or form.
And didn't we find at least last season, and I thought this was hinted at, and maybe we'll get it later on, that there was like some other huge ancient dragon underneath Dragonstone?
Yes.
Okay, that nobody's riding still, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So Aemond in the small council dresses the king down in Valerian. That's kind of after the way Aegon embarrassed him in the brothel the episode before, and Aemond just got up all naked and just walked out like a boss. He doesn't forget, and he dresses the king down in High Valerian, Nobody else understands what they're saying, and he really, really pushed the king's buttons.
Yeah.
In the small council. And
by the way, so the actor playing Aegon, he is such a dick, but he's just such a great job this episode of like really feeling like the look. I don't know, Mom. Like what do you want me to like? I don't know what I'm doing. What do you want me to do?
right. And what she says is, do nothing. That was what she said to him. Do nothing.
Right.
That's what you need to do. So remember that, because that comes into play in a couple minutes. Alicent's missed the last couple small council meetings. Daemon is having a really, really bad time at Harrenhal. He's really not having a good go of things over there at the Cursed Harrenhal.
No, and he met the crazy witch.
He met the crazy witch after he thought he was following Aemond around. The crazy witch gave him something to drink, and he woke up in the middle of a meeting.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was really weird. But I guess you have to kind of suspend belief on some things that they don't really push magic into your face. But you got to remember, this is the series that resurrected Jon Snow from the dead, so that there is some magic creeping through the world.
Well, I mean, there's dragons, dude. I mean, come on. Like
I mean, yeah.
But I don't know what that meant. Like, I don't know how that. I get it. It was a sleeping thing, and he just wasn't still awake. But like, he'd obviously been functioning, but not
right.
So like, it was weird.
It was weird. It was a really weird transition. The king is bored. Alicent is trying to tear the room apart, looking for the anything on the Song of Fire and Ice that Rhaenyra has mentioned to her the day before in the Sept when she tried to sue for peace. That's when Alicent gives her son shit and basically says, do nothing. Just don't do anything.
Yep.
Kristen wants to attack. Alicent's brother says no, not during the day. Rhaenyra comes back to her small council, realizes that there's no path to peace and that we need to start sending dragons out. She's ready to go, and Rhaenyra steps up. Rhaenyra steps up and says, I'll do it. While that's happening, she gets on her dragon. Aegon's getting drunk.
Yep.
And getting dressed in his armor. She flies out, burns everything. Great scene with the dragon.
Yeah, they spent all the money this episode. Like, next episode has to be smaller.
It's literally going to be in one room and a bunch of people talking for an hour.
Yeah. But it's not. I saw the preview. Oh my god. Next episode looks nuts.
Yeah. So she's on Meleys, killing as much as she can. Aemon's waiting in the wings, hidden.
Yep.
And he's about to get up, and he's like, oh, no, wait, because here comes the drunk king on his dragon. Here comes drunk Aegon.
But he doesn't know Aegon's drunk.
He doesn't know Aegon's drunk, but here comes Aegon. So he's just like, yeah, let's chill. See what happens. And let me tell you what, man. The dragon fighting was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that I had feelings of sadness for a goddamn CGI dragon. And I was upset at watching the dragons tear each other apart.
Yeah.
The fake CGI dragons. Look, man, she knew it was over. And she didn't back away. And she didn't, once Aemond entered the fight and watched while Sunfire and Meleys fought and tore each other apart.
Yeah.
And then he comes down on his big ass dragon and just crushed her neck. And it was so sad. But she didn't turn away.
No.
She went right back into it. And, she knew she was going to die.
I think you're tearing up a little bit talking about it.
A little bit. Dragon's fight was awesome. Rook's Rest got really fucked up. R.I.P. Meleys. I'll say it right eventually.
Oh, yeah, there he is. When Meleys turned around and looked at her.
Yep. Aemond has a new dagger. Sir Kristen Cole walks up on Aemond with a sword out, walking away from where the king was laying. What happened to him?
Look, I don't. The preview says that he's not dead.
He's
Maybe.
so I know what happens to him as far as the books go. As far as the book goes, I
Yeah.
looked that up. I'm not going to say anything now because I don't know how they're going to play it in the show, so I'm not going to spoil it.
Right, because they may or may not do the same thing.
They may or may not do the same thing. It was by far the best episode of the season, and the writing all throughout is so good.
Yeah, it's like I said before, man. It's funny having shows with crappy writing now going head to head in the pop culture against these shows because fantasy has always had excellent writing, and now you're starting to run up against some of these shows that do not have excellent writing.
Can the people at Lucasfilm just watch this show
God,
and be like, "Oh, that's how you write dialogue. That's how you build a thread. That's
no, no, they can't. I don't know what they're doing with the writing over there, but it continues to be bad. Look, even their good stuff that's been popular, like Mandalorian, was bad. Andor, fantastic writing. See, difference.
Yeah,
Difference.
yeah. Really fast. Tomorrow Morrison said that he wants Boba Fett to hijack an episode of The Mandalorian the way The Mandalorian hijacked an episode of his show.
That'd be fine.
No, thank you. Stay as a cameo.
That'd be fine. Maybe they'll make him good.
Nah, it won't.
I mean, he was great in his cameo on The Mandalorian when he first popped up. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's going to be awesome!"
Right, and
then they were like, "Just kidding."
Yep. But the House of the Dragon continues to be neck and neck for me with the boys.
Yeah, look, and we only got 2 episodes of Acolyte, 2 episodes of The Boys, 4 episodes of House of Dragon.
We'll be able to spend a little more time on the House of Dragons at the end, and
yeah,
I'll have to watch Shorzy.
You will, dude. I think you will love it. It's so good, so good.
Now I have a 9:30 hockey game that I'm supposed to play tonight.
There you go. So I'm back in Downingtown Friday night at Ron's Original, doing a private Saturday. But check out jackkidmusic.com. You can go to the E House on the 20th. See my band Fab Fly. We'll be playing. Apparently, we are, but the Bucks County premier ska band. Is what the advertisements tell me. So come and see if that is true. I bet it is. And, do that, jackkidmusic.com. Thanks for finding the Geek Spot. Check us out where you can listen to all your things and view all your things and drop us a rating, a like, a subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Oh, wait, I have it. Hold on. There we go. I didn't do that.